Hi all, welcome back. So I'm going to show you how to do this pattern on this setup. So as I have already explained in the previous video, this is the basket weave or speckled weave setup. That's the two background to go with the one pattern thread. So each one has two background to one pattern thread. So if you're not sure how to set this up, look at my previous video, it explains the difference between the two. But it's really simple, it's just do your edges, then do two background, one pattern, two background, one pattern, all the way across, and then do your edges. So this just looks nice and pretty on its own, but it's really good for doing pickup, and it's really good for sideways, diagonal. You can still do straight patterns on this, but it looks really nice in diagonal, as you can see by the way these go. So I've just drawn up, I've hand drawn, so it's a bit of a mess, but I've just drawn up a really basic pattern on here, which looks probably a little more complicated than it really is. This part here is the repeat. This is just a second repeat that I've put on there to show you how they join to combine into the centre. So you'll just be doing this bit over and over again. So it's really simple. We have 13 pattern threads here. So obviously some of them are on the underside. So they're the heedled threads, and this is the open shed. So we have 13 total pattern threads. Now I'm starting in this position because, as you see on here, the first one I'm doing needs a pattern thread, so I've started with the row where the first one, the pattern thread, is up. So that helps you decide where to start. Now it's just about manipulating. So on here you can see, ignore them, they are, let me fold that out the way a bit more, they're just purely leftover pieces on the graph chart. So if we just there we go. So this is the whole of the 13 repeats. So the first one you can see is black. That means that you want your pattern thread, these threads, to be up. The second two are white. That means you want those pattern threads to be down. So you're just going to go one pattern thread up, two down, one up, two down, one up, two down, and one up across the whole row. Okay, I'm just going to pop a piece of paper in here just so you can see the threads a little better, hopefully. Okay, so as you see on the pattern here, the first one is up, the next two is down, next one is up, the next two is down. So this is the way we're going to work it. So you look at your first pattern thread. So if you take your edges out of the way, you can see that first pattern thread is up. So you want to leave that there. The second pattern thread comes in between these two, and as you see there isn't one here because it's down and it's under this piece of paper for the minute, but it's down, and that's what we want, so we can just leave that as it is. But this next pattern thread, as you see, is up, and we want it two down, so that one you want to drop down out of the way. And then as you go across, you'll see the next two pattern threads in between that. Now that one we needed up, so we're going to have to pick that one up. So I'm going to have to move the paper to show you, but hopefully you can now see what I'm doing a little better. So, because it gets, as you see, it's harder to see without the paper there, but we need that one. So if you spread them open a little, you'll be able to see naturally where that thread is and pick it up. And now we have that thread. And so now we've picked that one up, we want two down. So this one is up, so we want to drop that one down. And then the next background thread, you can see, that one is down because there's two next to each other, so we can ignore that one. But now we've got two down, we need that one up, so we have that one up, so we're good. And the next one is down, which is what we want. But then you see this one is up, so we want to drop that one down. And the two pattern threads here, we're going to need to pull that one up, because remember it's two down, one up. So if you just spread, you can see where it is and let it pop up. And then we're going to have to drop that one down because we should have two down, remember. and then this one, you can see it's already down, so we can leave it where it is, and the last one is already up, so we can leave that up where it is. So if I just pop the paper back in a minute so you can see. So now this should match your pattern here. See, so we've got 1 up, 2 down, 1 up, 2 down, 1 up, 2 down, 1 up, 2 down and 1 up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern threads are up. And if you look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern threads are up, and you can see in between each one there's actually 2 down because we've got those gaps. So that's our first setup though. So if I just gently hold that when I take that out. So you've got to be careful and keep those in. I find placing something in it so you don't move it, because you will notice, if I can just, let me grab a side view for you a second. So as you can see, we've got 2 extra threads, so we're down in this bottom one, but we've had to pick them up in order to add them into this row. So you can just see them coming up out of that row into our new pattern here. So it's important to keep something in there so that you don't lose those ones you've picked up where you pick up your shuttle. Okay, so then you're just going to pass through as you normally would. So I'm just going to put through and weave in like you normally do when you're just passing the weft through. And then you can push down. Then when you push down, everything will realign back into their proper places. As you see now, everything is back in their proper alignment, ready for the next pickup. So the next repeat on the second row here now is we need the first pattern down, which by default it will be because we had it up last time naturally, if you remember. And then we're going to pick up the second one, but then the third and fourth repeat needs to be down. Then we pick up the fifth, and then 6, 7 and 8 needs to be down, 9 comes up, 10 and 11 down, 12 up and 13 down. If you notice, they're mirror images. So we're just going to work through that pattern. So we grab the shed you're working in. Remember, we want number 1 down, number 2 up. If you move the edges, you can see that the first pattern piece is in between these two, is already down, so we don't need to worry about that one. And then we want the next one up, which it already is, so we just pass on around. And then we want the next 2 down, that one is already down as you can see, so we need to drop that one down. That's 2 down. Now we need this one here up, so you will naturally want to ping up because it's the open thread, so we'll just let it come on up. And then we're going to want 3 down, remember, so make sure that everything's aligned. That one there will need to go down, and then these 2 here, that one's already down, and then this one here will also need to go down. But the next one here we're going to need to up, so as I said, it will ping up naturally because it's the open thread. And then, if you're always worried about your alignment, just give them a little pull and watch where your heedles are, and you can see where your alignment is and what one should be next. So then we want 2 down, so that one is down. So we want to drop that one down. Then we want this one up. And just manoeuvre it up. There you go. And then this last one. Hold on. Nope, I'm in the wrong place. Hold on. Sometimes I get confused, so I go from the other side. So the first one is down, which is what we want. And then the next one is up, which is what we want. And then we want 2 down. So that one should be down as well. I always double check my work and I go from both sides. Because, you know, it's 13 pieces, and so if I check halfway this point and then halfway that point, I know that I've got them correctly mirrored. And as you can see on this one, we now want 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern sheds, 4 pattern strands up. I'm sorry, and the rest is down. So if you look at your thing, you can check 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Pop your little something, whatever you're using, to save in the right place. Make sure everything's aligned and that you've got the proper ones, which you can see here. We've got the 3 and that one's just down. These ones were up last time and they're down this time. And from the side view, again, you can see there is a difference. You can see here some of these are down where they were originally up, and some of them are up where they were originally down. So they're up here, and of course they would normally be down. So you can just see where the manipulation starts to take place, that they start to swap places and it gets more fiddly in those bits. So always keep something in there so you can see that your pieces are insecure before you put your shed through, your weft through. So just pull that through and down. Get a little tag up for the next one. So you want to make sure you're pulling it reasonably tight, not overly tight. You don't want to, you know, if you do that, it's bunched up and it's no good. Don't do that if you have a clingy thing. This one's quite smooth, so I can reorientate it. Don't do that if it's a clingy one. But see, so now you can see the pattern starting to form. We've got these ones up. You see the line? This will become much clearer as we go, I promise. But so I'm going to turn off the side camera a minute because I think you've got the gist of that now. Just shut that down a minute. Okay, so we'll go back to just filming on this one. So, as per usual, we're in our next shed and we're going to pick up the next pattern thread. So we're on the 3rd row, which is 2 down, 1 up, 2 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 2 down, 1 up and 2 down. So again, just follow along. If you're like me, work from both sides so you don't get lost, but it's pretty simple. So, excuse me, sorry, so the first one is here and we want that down, and we also want the next one down, which it already is, so we're good. And then we want that one up. The next 2 we want down, so that one is down, so we need to drop that one and bring up this one. Make sure you get the right one, don't cross them over. And make sure you're only picking up the pattern piece, don't pick up the background. And then 1 down and 1 up again. Now I'm going to go from the other side just to make it easier for me. So we want 1 down and the next one is down. That pattern thread is there. And we want 1 up and we want 2 down, so that one is down, so we drop that one down. Then we have our 1 up, our 1 down and our 1 up, and we're back in the middle where we should be. So there we go. So again, check your markings. We're on the 3rd one, so we need 1, 2, 3, 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and with our gaps. See, so the bigger gaps on the sides, and we've got a smaller gap in the middle this time round, as you can see. I'm just going to do this the whole way across. The further you go, the neater this will become. So I'm just going to do a bunch more a minute, and then I'll come back to you and show you as the pattern's done. Okay, so we'll see you back in a second. Hi all, so back again. So as you can see, I've now completed this whole graph, so that's the first setup and then one whole repeat, and you can see how it's coming together now. So that's what the chart looked like, and I've done that whole lot. So this is the section you'd repeat over and over again. So I've done one whole repeat that I've done here for you, so you can see just how it's coming out there. You can do all sorts of different patterns. This one I will get into a digital form and get up on my blog, and link down below in the description, so you can practice with this one if you want. As I said, it's just a basic one that I quickly drew out, so there's no name for it. It could be that there's a version of this out there somewhere with a proper name. I don't know, I just sketched something out quickly. But you can see it's quite pretty, and it gives a nice little look. Now obviously you could do different colours on the pattern threads and have half one colour, half the other colour on it. You can just play around, but for practice I'd say just stick with the one colour for the pattern and one colour for the background and the edge, just until you get used to it and get your tension right. I wanted to try to show you something. Sometimes when doing this I'm going to have to actually, where did I put my thing? Ah, there. Okay, so I'm going to have to manipulate these. When you're manipulating, I won't do the actual pattern, I'll just manipulate a bunch up and down a minute just so you can see what happens. But let's pick one up. Sometimes when you manipulate, you can see it's got a bit crossed over here. So I used just the end. This was from my, it's a hook one end, a point the other. It's from my knitting machine. But you see where they get crossed over. It's important to line them up properly before you go. So I tend to put my little thing in, and sometimes they will line up again when you just let go of it. Sometimes, as you can see, they don't. So just use your little end and manipulate them so that they're all into the correct places. So between each pattern thread you should see two of them, so you can't see them there because you need to manipulate it, and they're hidden under here. You see them just there? So just always manipulate your pieces. Obviously you wouldn't do this in a pattern, I'm just quickly showing you want to manipulate. So always try to make sure that you go along at the end of each one and just push along and reorientate to make sure you have them all in their correct places, like that. So, and then go down. So you want to make sure you've always got the line up correct. So two pattern pieces, two background and one pattern should be there at all times, no matter how you're manipulating it. So keep an eye and make sure that they stay straight, because once they do, this will just come out correctly. Okay. Let's see. It doesn't matter if you can see, like here, you can see a little bit of the weft. When you're further away, nobody notices that. As you can see, it looks fine from a distance. You could pull them tighter and that will help hide them, but you risk bunching it up if you pull it too tight. And as I said, look, you can barely see that a couple of them go across once you're at a proper distance from it, so it doesn't matter. But I hope that helps. Any questions, pop them down in the comments below and I will try to answer your questions. And if I haven't shown something well enough, let me know and I can refilm to try to explain it a bit better. But for now, have fun and just enjoy playing around. You can find loads of patterns online, so just do a Google for Inkle weaving pickup or Baltic pickup, and you'll find lots of different ones to play with. So you take care. Bye.